Welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence, and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo. Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Good morning, everyone. I am Tanya from... Oh, I'll be back. Someone take over.
Okay, we got it. Got it.
All right. Well, I'm Kylene, and welcome to our OSG Live, and I'm with Rise, Shine, Smile.
And I am Becky Kutzer with BK Custom Tees.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and I'm with our success group, and we are here to inspire you to fall in love with your business. Tanya is taking care of the baby there, so we'll get Tanya back here in just a moment. And but Kylene, what we always start with, I know that some people might go, wow, we sound a little bit like a broken record, but there's a reason for this, right? There's a reason that we always start with that intentionality of gratitude and whatnot. So can you start us off?
Yeah, it does sound like a broken record, but it is so important to be intentional about being in a state of gratitude. So when you're in that state of gratitude, you're in a state of abundance, and you're really starting to appreciate all those amazing things around you. And that brings more joy to you. That raises your vibration. It starts attracting more good things to you. You start getting in that habit of looking for the good instead of not looking for the problems. So it really is appreciating what you have. And so we want to start our show with gratitude so we can bring that positivity to the show and really appreciate all of you joining us today, and just each other and the things that we have in our life to really be grateful for. So if you want to share in the comments what you're grateful for, please do so. We're going to go ahead and share our gratitude this morning. Today, I am grateful for the Fab Four. It's such an honor to be here every week, and it's nice to be surrounded by such good people, and I'm really grateful for that.
And I, this week, am grateful for our Monday morning mastermind group. I just get so much out of that, even when this week I didn't bring much, but there's always something to take from that. And I'm also grateful for doctors that are not willing to jump to surgery. So we're getting to wait a little bit with Nick. So that I was extremely grateful for that, and not to hear that we needed to jump immediately to surgery. So
yeah. That's wonderful news. That's definitely something to be grateful for. Mm-hmm. Our friend Addie is joining us here. She says, "Happy New Year! Excited to hear you all today." And she's got her gratitude. She said, "I'm grateful for a new year and my friends and family." So thank you for sharing and participating, Addie. Great to see you. And she's quite the jet setter. So I love following her on Facebook and seeing all the cool places she goes to and et cetera, et cetera. So
I don't think I can keep up.
No, I can't either, but she's also an amazing person. So make sure you guys are following her as well. So for me, I am grateful. Kylene, you stole mine, darn it. No, I was kidding. I do, being able to go last here, I do get the vantage point of, oh, yep. Right. We've always said that. But I'm really looking forward to hearing what everybody else in the comments that are tuned in, what they are grateful for too, because that brings me a lot of joy and gratitude. But I'm grateful for just all of the opportunities. The book has been very well received. I keep getting such incredible feedback on it. And that's leading to opportunities to speak on different podcasts or go to different shows, and then just what we can do with it to grow and expand the OSG community. We've got big plans here for 2024. And so I am just grateful for all of those opportunities. It's such a cool feeling, because I know a lot of times for folks it can feel overwhelming, and I know that I can allow it to get there. But when I come from this place of gratitude, that feeling of overwhelm just sheds right off, and it just is such a cool experience. So I'm really grateful for those opportunities. So, all right. Well, let's see here. Addie says, your book, how did I miss that? Where can I buy it? Congratulations. Thanks, Addie. Yeah, so if you go to osg.link/bizbook, my thing gets cut off here. Let's see if I've got a banner. I'm sure we do. There it is. osg.link/bizbook, and you can check it out. So, all right. Anything else that can show up that you guys are grateful for? I know we got to wait just a moment, but when Tanya is right, there we go. Good morning. Welcome back, Tanya.
Good morning. I am grateful for this little girl, even though she just scared the devil out of me because she had a seizure. That's why I had to abruptly jump off. So I'm just going to be holding her until she's ready to get down.
That's fine. That's fine. She doing okay?
Yeah, these happen.
Okay.
This one was particularly violent.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we're glad that that you were able to go and take care of her. So yes, we are grateful that you have that little lover right there. So, okay. Well, are you guys ready to? Is Miss Gracie B. Doodle? Is she going to be able to help bring the wellness toolbox this morning? Are you guys ready for that?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's rock and roll here.
Hello again.
Oh, so sorry about that.
No, I'm just glad that she's okay. It's scary for sure. Well, welcome everyone to the Wellness Toolbox. Today we are talking about mindful movement, different practices that we can incorporate in our life. It's just really important, and we always talk about the word intentional, but life moves fast these days, and it's moving faster, it seems like. And so taking the time to slow down, to catch your breath, and go through some really intentional and mindful movements can really bring a lot of benefits to your life. And obviously, yoga is a passion of mine for my way of doing mindful movements, but just embracing those slow movements and physical exercises every day can really begin to calm your mind.
Yes, it's made a tremendous difference for me. And whether you're a beginner or someone with lots of experience with mindful movement practice, we're going to discuss how to seamlessly integrate them into your daily life.
Yeah. I mean, there's just we wanted to talk about the why a little bit, just to bring some awareness, and hopefully that awareness brings more motivation to incorporate this into your life. That slow motion type of training, it just creates that connection with our bodies, connecting our mind with our bodies. I always say yoga is quieting your mind. Yes, you're getting stronger and lengthening your muscles and all those other wonderful physical benefits, but you're also learning to listen to what your body is trying to tell you. And that's really powerful.
And that's why an emphasis on proper form and intentional movements is key. You don't want to go into something and like stretch too far, hurt yourself type of thing. So it's important to do a little bit of research, even watch videos. I highly suggest a class with Kylene. It's made a tremendous difference in my life.
Awesome. Yeah, it's fun having you there and just seeing, your growth in all of it. The other real benefit is you have more awareness of where your body is in space, right? With that intentionality, you're not just all of a sudden in some crazy pose, you are intentional on how you get there. So then you strengthen that trust you have with your body. And it's really a powerful thing that happens for yourself. That's one of the other cool benefits about it.
Yeah. And it also strengthens your mind-body connection. You really get in touch with, that feels different today. And like Kylene says, every day is a different day. Some days you might be able to do a tree effortlessly, and other days you can't balance to save your soul.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up that example because it is being mindful is a process. It's not perfection. And I think if we can remember that as we go through and start incorporating this into your life, you just really enjoying the journey, that process of how you're trusting yourself again. And it's easier the more you do it, right, to get into that quiet space.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's also a reduction in the risk of injuries due to focusing on form and awareness. I know even in my work life, I'm mindful of, oh, that doesn't feel quite right. And so I'll do a forward fold. My husband and my employer, like, what are you doing? Just mind your business.
It's so true though, like, and that's what we'll talk about here in a little bit, like how you're incorporating it into your everyday life. It is possible for all of us to have mindful movement into our life, and those positive benefits we just discussed really can enhance your day. And I always end my practice with, I hope you can use this new energy and strength and focus in your life, because that's what's happening. You're creating all of that energy, and that promotes more healing and all the other good stuff. So we just wanted to touch on some physical benefits. We've kind of highlighted a few, but just wanted to touch on those. Just overall improved flexibility, lengthening your muscles, strengthening them, which again gives you less risk of injury if you have a fall or something like that. It just overall makes you stronger and healthier.
Yeah. And it enhanced strength. Yoga poses and mindful movements build and tone muscles. And it contributes to your overall strength. I know that when we started doing chair yoga, I had zero strength, zero flexibility, and zero balance. And just the consistent practice of doing it a few times a week, all those things came pretty quickly. I was really surprised.
Yeah. It doesn't, like, I hope that comes across in our message today, that it doesn't take a lot, right, to have these wonderful benefits. You mentioned the balance and coordination, and that goes along with better posture. I'll catch myself sometimes like hunched forward like this, which maybe by the end of the show we can call me out. I'm trying to, but you're working some muscles in your core to really help with your back pain and reduce any of those stressors that you might have, and just being more coordinated reduces injury and all the other fun stuff in your life.
Another big one for me, and a reason why I wanted to start yoga, was pain relief. Yes. Yoga can alleviate chronic pain conditions, promotes relief through gentle stretches and movements, and it also has mental and emotional benefits too. So those two things were huge for me. I was like,
yeah. And I think that's huge, that part of it, because pain does a lot of different things to our body, right? But mostly it affects our emotional health. When you're in that state, it's almost like a state of survival that you're in, and it does change your mood. So having that little bit of control over it, taking control of that pain is huge. And that kind of goes along with the other things that happen emotionally. You have stress reduction, anxiety management, that creates better sleep, better moods, more positivity, and just allowing you to be more present in the moment. I think that part is huge, because life, like we started, happens really fast and can feel like it's happening to us, not for us. And so I think that's where this becomes so important, is we get to be empowered to take control of how we show up in the world and how we take care of our body, and we manage our thoughts, right? And so incorporating that in our life is huge.
Yep. So how do we incorporate that into our daily lives? It's actually not as hard as what we might think. I know I always say small doses of intentional movement of any kind, whether it's stretching, yoga, or even walking or at the gym, it makes a tremendous difference, especially if you do it consistently. First, start small. You don't need hours. You just need to be intentional about it. A few minutes a day. I think I start off at 5 minutes a day of walking and have built up from there. And that's the same with any practice. You do what you can, and then you move up. Secondly, find a routine that suits you. Have it be in a place that is relaxing for you, is calm. Sometimes I know I have this one or my other one in with me, and that's not as calm. It's funny, but it's not as calm. So routine, whether it's a morning stretch session or an evening one, consistency. Consistency is key. And that's one of my choose words this week is consistency. I listened to a podcast the other day, and that really drove it home. Yeah. And lastly, be present. Mindful movement is not just about the body. It's about cultivating awareness and being in the moment.
Yep. Well said. And I think I'm going to demonstrate a little chair yoga here for everyone that you can do throughout the day. So this just shows how you can incorporate that into your life, whatever it might be. So we're going to do a quick one here. We're just going to do some twists. So when you're in your chair, just let your feet relax on the floor. I know you can't see my legs right now, and then you just take a deep breath in, reach your arms up. If they don't go all the way above your head, that's okay. Just reach wherever you can go, and then slowly exhale as you come back down. And you can do that for a few times. And then next time you go back up, maybe you incorporate a twist. So you inhale and then exhale as you twist. You can go to the right. So your one hand, your left hand goes on the outside of your right knee, and you have a nice twist. So you're listening to your body. You're not like overdoing it, just a nice little twist. Your back stays nice and straight. So you're lengthening your spine, you're twisting, bringing more mobility and flexibility here, releasing all that tension. And then you can come back and then slowly go to the other side, which is really powerful. So that's one of my favorites. The other one is the cat and cow. I don't know if you guys listening have done this one. I know, Tanya, this is one of your favorites too. But you can do your cat and cow in your chair, which is really cool. So I'll turn this way so you guys can see, but you exhale as you push your spine to the back of this chair, and then you can almost act as if you're hugging like a big ball, and you let all that air out, create all that space between each of your vertebrae. Just open up, and then slowly inhale as you open your chest up and fill your lungs up with air, and take your gaze up towards the ceiling. And you just be really intentional with that movement as you go back and forth with your cat and cow. So what is that doing? It's creating space for new energy to flow. You're releasing that tension in your spine. I don't know why that just went off. Sorry. You're releasing that tension that you carry in your spine, but it also takes you out of the moment, right? So when that pain might be happening, you're being intentional to kind of calm your mind again. You're coming back to your breath. So again, you're taking control. You're creating that mind and body connection, telling your body it's okay. So those are a couple little poses that you could do just throughout the day, especially if you're at your desk a lot. That's something that you can incorporate.
And they feel amazing, especially as you get used to doing them. You'll catch yourself doing them without even knowing that, oh, I did that unconsciously.
Yeah.
And like Kylene said, there are many other types of practices. Try some out and see what resonates with you. Some other examples are Qigong. I have a friend that does that, and she absolutely loves it. I've not tried it, but she's a fan. Tai Chi and Pilates. I've done Pilates. Yeah. There's also a wide variety of yoga. Hot yoga, laughing yoga, goat yoga, puppy yoga.
Yep.
But I highly recommend Kylene at Rise, Shine, Smile. And you can go to her website and she'll give you a free class so you can try it out. I've been doing it a couple years, maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I did it.
Yes, I love that I can do my cat and cow in my chair. You can, and just do it periodically through the day. It's really powerful.
And other places that you can find some of these other practices. YouTube University is huge. TikTok, you would be surprised. There's whole communities given to specific things. So Netflix has some things, and your public library. So check out what works for you and just get moving and be intentional with it.
Yeah. Yep. I love that you shared that. There's so many different variations. Figure out what works for you. There's so many benefits that it is worth the time to see what feels right. So we want to share a quick little video so you guys hopefully can join me for a class. Try it out. So we're going to share that video with you, and then we'll bring the Fab Four back.
Love it.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
go check that out. So I don't know if I missed it or not, but Kylene, the one thing that always stands out for me, and this is my favorite line of yours, is that wherever you're at is perfectly fine. Right. So, so being a volleyball player for as long as I have, and some of the stress I've put on my shoulders, one of the challenges for me is some certain things do hurt my shoulders a little bit more. So I find myself kind of going, oh, that's going to hurt my shoulders. And so I just skip it. But when you started reminding me that it's okay, right? You were talking about going up here. Yeah. If I just go here, that's okay. It's still movement. So I love that.
Yeah. You can adapt it. And I would share variations of poses. So you can still get the benefits of it, even if it's not how the teacher is demonstrating whatever you decide to do. That's part of listening to your body and just meeting yourself where you're at. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with modifying things if you're not at a level of other people. It's perfectly fine. And it's important, if you're sitting all day long, that causes stress on your body. And it's good to get, things moving. If you're doing production, like I said, I do forward folds quite a bit. Hanging upside down, whatever. Look at me funny, but I don't care. It feels good and it helps my back. So
yeah, that's awesome.
And you can do puppy yoga. Sorry, Becky, go ahead.
No, I'm looking forward to the chair yoga starting with us next week.
Yes.
So I think that will be a fantastic addition to our weekly sessions.
Mm-hmm.
One of the wonderful things that came out of our mastermind class.
Kylene, I don't know how much you explain that to folks real quick, but maybe you could just give people a little rundown that might not be familiar with the Rise, Shine, Smile yoga sessions. Sure.
So effective next week, on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings, I teach at 6:30 in the morning Central Time, virtually through Zoom, which is really cool. So then you can do it in the comfort of your own home, especially if you're just beginning. It's good to be in that safe place. But Tuesday mornings, I'm going to be teaching chair yoga. So it'll be a chair yoga class. And then Thursday mornings, it'll be a gentle yoga class. Chair yoga is still very beneficial. Even if you're an experienced yogi, it's still very beneficial. And so I'm excited about having that be on Tuesdays, and then the gentle on your mat class on Thursday mornings, just to bring overall body wellness to us, touching on all different areas.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the latest is sitting is the new smoking, right? And if you think about how much time we actually do spend in our chairs each and every day, and so if you have this intentional movement, like Addie had said earlier, love that you can do cat or cow in my chair, right? And so that will reduce the harm that sitting all day brings to our bodies. So love that. Okay. So anything else, Becky, what else stood out for you?
I missed part of it because I go check on the children. Apologize for that. But the intentional movement, I mean, we've talked about that. Tanya and I have talked about that. Anything, we're back to that word intentional. I think that might need to be the word of the year here. But just being intentional, about any small movement that you can do. I agree with Tanya for, as we're standing for production, I'm glad that I work by myself most of the time, because sometimes I'm doing high knees, sometimes I'm walking in place. Whatever you can get done in them, 10 to 12 seconds between presses makes a big difference. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's check in. We hadn't had a chance to say good morning to everybody yet that was tuned in bright and early this morning. So Barb from North Central Minnesota checking in. So great to see you. Good morning, Barb.
Good morning.
And, we have Darren checking in. Good morning, Darren. Thanks for being here. And Michelle Wilson checking in this morning as well. So, and still, by the way, folks, plenty of time for gratitude. So don't hesitate to slip that in whenever you're ready. So, all right. Well, anything else that we need to cover on intentional movement before we move on to the uncommon mindset here?
Nope. I think we're ready for you guys.
Let's do it. All right. Good morning. Getting a little water going. And, I was doing some intentional movement, not enough, but I stand at these things. And so my knees will start to get a little bit. And so, like you said, high knees, and exactly what I was doing this high knee thing.
Yep.
All right, Becky.
That's how I feel when I'm standing doing production too. So
there you go. Good job. Well, thanks for that reminder. Okay. So we are into the third week of the content here, where the idea here is we're kind of giving people a wonderful taste of what's going to be coming up in the FBS workshop, the Fundamentals of Business Success workshop. And I think we've also got a really nice, if you follow, right, we started with your why, then we started talking about some goals and other things around that. And now we're going to start taking action here this week. And we're going to kind of deep dive as much as we can in our time here to that. And I know that action is so crucial to our success, right? And Becky, I'm sure you see it like I do. I think action is probably the biggest thing holding most small business owners back. It may not be that they're not doing enough action or kind of working hard enough. It's that they're not, certain things are getting in the way, right? And we'll talk about those things. So it's that lack of productive action that I think is really kind of the big challenge. And so when we are attempting to build a business that we love, we have to do things like expand our comfort zone, right? We need to also then see our comfort zone. If we are expanding it, that brings on fear. But we can also learn how to kind of actually harness that fear and use it to be more productive. And then we also need to understand and master the art of saying yes and no, and just ultimately foster a confident mindset and through installing resilience. So I guess, we've got a lot of things that a lot of routes we could go down here this morning, but in the time that we have here, what do you think we should cover here today?
So when I was reviewing this and looking at all of those, there were so many of them that we could, all of them, honestly. But the one that stood out for me was the mastering the art of yes and no. I believe there's a lot of small business owners that struggle with this. None of us want to miss a sale, and we all tend to be people pleasers. So this has just been one that I felt was an important one for us to get out there.
Yeah. This is what I love about working with Becky is I tend to have all this stuff, and she's like, "Okay, let's focus." she gets me focused. So thank you for that, Becky. And I love that you said the word right, people pleasers. We have this just the way humans operate, right? It's just kind of part of our innate, people have varying levels, but I think for the most part, humans are people pleasers. We're trying to support other people. And again, I've talked about this many times before. It's kind of how we got to the top of the food chain, is we're willing to collaborate and work together and communicate and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is that being a people pleaser can actually be very detrimental. And this will be shocking to some people, but I feel like being a people pleaser is actually very selfish. And so I've decided I need to become a recovering people pleaser, because I'm probably as big a people pleaser, if not bigger than most. And so who else out there, I guess, kind of virtually raise your hand here and say, I'm a recovering people pleaser. It's kind of like the AA. We have to start off with admitting that we have a problem, right? And,
Yep.
it's that, do you find yourself saying yes when you're only going to regret it later? And here's why I say that is selfish. It's because, and we'll talk about this a little bit deeper in a bit, but the fact that we're just finding ourselves saying yes and regretting it later, that's keeping us from sharing what our true gifts are, right? And therefore it's kind of the easy route. So again, we'll talk about that more. But if you're a people pleaser who kind of always prioritizes other needs over your own, then learning the art of saying no is going to be a massive game changer for you.
I agree, and I see we have a couple raising their hands in the comments down there. So
yes, yeah, good. I missed that altogether. So thank you for pointing that out. Addie says, "Me, I'm a recovering people pleaser." Tanya checking in there. Michelle is also a recovering people pleaser. So we're around our people here, Becky. This is good.
We are
as well.
We're in good company.
Yes, we are indeed.
So, and I feel that the challenge that many people experience when they're dealing with this is the request is like a tug of war inside. So imagine a game with 3 moves. You're going to say yes when you want to say no, which is like giving in. Yeah. And then you can say no aggressively, which is a very strong refusal, or avoid the decision altogether. These responses affect how confident we feel in our relationships. I mean, giving in might bring a short-term calm, but it's going to later lead to bitterness. I mean, how many times have you said yes and later you're like, you're inside, you are very not happy about saying yes to that, and saying no forcefully can harm any of those relationships or connections that you've made. And then avoiding the decision altogether is going to just make sure, nobody's going to know what's going on. So, I see Darren raised his hand also.
Yeah, very good, Darren. Yep.
Saying no is vital for creating healthy boundaries and ensuring clear relationships. Taking that time to respond is fine. Setting a deadline to keep your decision and to keep you accountable, take that time to give yourself, make sure you're saying, that you are okay with saying yes to it. Or if you're not, say no, to list the top priorities and make sure it aligns with your goals. If not, confidently say no.
That's so, I mean, I love everything you just shared there, Becky. I mean, I was giggling the whole time because you were like, I heard myself in all 3 of those things, right? That saying yes and regretting it later. Okay, I've done that. Saying no a little too forcefully, just, being upset that they're even asking, right? And I love how you mentioned that affects the relationships. As a small business owner, that's one of the key elements that we've got to make sure that we manage is the relationships around us, our success team, the customers we interact with, right? So it's number 5 on our fundamentals list is the relationships. So I think ultimately though, what's best is we have to learn some strategies to avoid those 3 chess moves that you just mentioned, right? And I left off the last one of just kind of, see, I just avoided it. I avoided making a decision. But so we have to learn some strategies that we can implement to kind of master that art of saying no gracefully. And, as we said, we're in very good company here. Barb is also raising her hand as a recovering people pleaser as well. And so we need to kind of get to a place where, there's all sorts of different strategies, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but you're going to have to pick out what works for you or some combination of them. And so Becky, we've got a nice long list that, we've discovered over time. I built this out of some things that I've done with success principles, and you've brought a lot to the table with sharing, kind of expand on it, making it a little easier for people to understand. And so can you, let's just give them a list. Let's just do top 5, because that's about the amount of time that we're going to have today. And then when folks come and join us at the Fundamentals of Business Success workshop later on in the year here, they'll see the whole list, and we'll actually have people practice this also as an exercise. So would you start us off with the first one, Becky?
Yes, and I agree. The top 5 we've got for you, I think, are a good combination of what would work. So first, be clear, confident, consistent, and concise. Avoid over-explaining. Clearly state your willingness to do it, or suggest a better time frame. Show the respect by acknowledging that the request and responding promptly to it.
Yeah. I think, the couple of definitely great words in there that you just shared, the clear, confident, consistent, and concise. But I think ultimately it comes back to that confidence, right? When we go back to what we talked about in the very first week, clarifying our reason, that brings us that confidence that when somebody asks us something and we need to say no, we can be confident that that doesn't align with what I'm trying to do. Maybe it's just not right now either, but you have that confidence because you know where you're at. And I think when we're not confident, I know this is what happens for me, is I start over explaining it, right? I find myself writing these emails and then deleting 75% of them, because the 75% that I'm deleting is just me over explaining the situation. And so I think that's really important to just, like you said, be clear, confident, and concise. So high five on number 1. Great job. All right. Well, here's number 2. And I'll see if I can keep it simple, right? That's number 2. And kind of goes back to, ties in nicely with number 1, but just firmly say no, again, without unnecessary apologies and feeling bad about it. You're not rejecting that person, right? You're just saying no to that request. And so if you remember that no is a complete sentence, you don't need to justify any further or ask for any more permission to say no. It's your time, it's your resources, and you get the right to decide that. And you have the responsibility to decide that. So love that.
Yes.
All right.
The remembering that no is a complete sentence has been a hard one for me, but has definitely helped. So,
love it. Yep. All right. What's the next, Becky?
Number 3 on the list, we have consider compromise. Suggest alternatives. Be open to compromise. Avoiding compromise means you just need to say no. But if you're avoiding it, I guess, maybe I'm saying this right. Avoiding compromise. Did I say that right? I mean, I'm not understanding that one right.
I think you said
say
that right.
No. So, compromise is one of those things. You have a customer that's asking for something to be done by, say, Friday, and it's not possible for you, compromise and see if it can be done, next Tuesday instead of your original, deadline of 2 weeks from now or something like that. So definitely try to compromise if you can.
No, I think it's really, really interesting to kind of see. And I think the power of no also brings out compromise, right? So I think you guys maybe thought you could get through this without me sharing one of my stories, but I've spent way too much time around Terry Combs, so I have to share a story. So when I was a much younger man, my family, we sold log homes and built log homes in Colorado. I know that you guys like, really, Aaron? That's another random thing that you've done. Yep. Plenty of that in my life. But we would have these folks come to us, and really nice folks, but it was their money and they had all these demands, and this all had to be done in their way, or else they were going to go somewhere else. And we were able to, as a company, we had enough business that we were good. We were confident in what our abilities were, and we were confident in the product and service that we could provide. And we would find ourselves just saying no. And that would kind of just shock them. but that rejection that they got, right? Again, we weren't rejecting them. We were rejecting their demands.
Right.
That kind of changed things. Now, all of a sudden, we're like, okay, well, what do we need to do then? How can we change? How can we find that compromise that'll work? And then we would just go back and say, well, we'd love to work with you, but here's what is possible. Here's the time, here's the budget, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And 9 times out of 10, they would be like, okay, great. Let's do that. But it started with, we could have like bent over backwards, tried to make it happen, and then not delivered, and then had a bad reputation, and then didn't have anybody else wanting to work with us. Right. And I think that's what most people do. Oh, I have to say yes. So I'm going to not try to, I'm going to overdo what my capabilities are, and then I'm end up under delivering, and that's going to actually hurt my business more than if you would have just said no and looked for that compromise. So
and then feeling bitter about it, right? I mean, the whole saying yes
that.
And then wishing you'd have said no feeling. So I think that comes into play right there too.
Yeah, I agree. Well, wonderful. What a good one, Becky. You've got we got some great stuff here, you guys. So hopefully you're taking a lot out of this. All right. Number 4, it's not rejection. It's a choice. Right. And just making sure that, you understand that you have a clear point there. You just have to remind yourself that your no is about the request. I mentioned that earlier. It's not the person. It's not personal. I very rarely, if ever, to be honest with you, have ever found myself saying no just because I'm going to do it to spite that person. Right. Even people that I'm not as fond of. It's like, the situation's not right. There's just not an alignment there. It's not a personal attack. There's not the alignment there that matches up with the things that I'm put on this earth to do. Right. So most people understand. We kind of play this story in our head that I'm going to say no, and they're going to hate me. We're going to be enemies for the rest of our lives. And most people understand they have to say no in their days too. And so it's just part of a daily life. Right?
Yeah. I think the biggest take there is that it's not personal, it's business. And I think that's a hard one when you're a small business owner and you're the face of your business and you're working directly with all those customers, that to not feel that it's personal, but you need to take that element out a little bit, step back, and realize that it's definitely a business choice and not a personal choice.
Yeah. Your business is personal to you. And so I get how it can feel like that. But like Becky just said, it's not personal. It's wonderful. Yeah. All right. So what's our rounds out our top 5 list here, Becky?
Well, our last, but definitely not least. So definitely join us to find the rest. But what we have here for number 5 is to be true to yourself. Understand your desires and make decisions aligned with your values and your why. Just make sure that it feels right for you.
Yeah. I think that even though it's last on the list, it's probably top of the list and it ties back into what we were saying earlier, where it comes back to making sure that you do understand who your true self is, right? I think a lot of us have spent a lot of our lives kind of wearing this mask or this being somebody that we're not, because the way that society's set up, right? We're our parents want certain things for us. There's desires that society has for us. And if we don't take the time to uncover who we truly are, then we can't be aligned to those values and work from that place. And then it's easy to say no when you have that clarity and confidence. So I love how that all ties together. It's a full circle.
Right. Very much so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's some good stuff. We want to get the Fab Four back in here in just a moment and really kind of see what they've got, what comes for them. So we really kind of also just want you guys to think about this week, how can you master the art of saying no, right? Understanding this and mastering this and being intentional. There's the word of the year, I believe was said earlier. It empowers you to prioritize your well-being while nurturing relationships. I think that was so crucial what you said earlier, Becky, is that, if we're not good at saying no, it could harm our relationships. And so while we're focusing on our own well-being, we're also nurturing relationships at the same time. And so that's why, being a people pleaser to me is so counterintuitive, right? Where it actually is a bit self-serving because you're taking the easy way out. And so, you need to set boundaries. You need to use effective communication and just stay true to yourself. Like we talked about in number 5, excuse me. I don't know why I couldn't come up with number 5 there. But this was highlighted here, right? Saying no to the good allows you to say yes to the great. I believe that's a Jim Rome quote, or Zig Ziglar or somebody like that. But no truer words have probably been said, and that really benefits you and the world around you, Becky. So it's pretty powerful to master the art of when to say yes and when to say no.
Yes, very much so.
All right. Well, Becky, tonight we've got another training part of the Goal Getter series coming up. So shall we play? I know that this is our second week here, but if people still want to join and haven't had a chance to do that yet, they can still join. There's still time if you're not already an our success group member. So let's play a quick word about it one more time, just to make sure everybody has an opportunity to sign up if they want to, and they can go back and watch last week and get caught up, and then catch the implementation call in February there. So shall we run that video real quick here, Becky?
Yes. We'd love to have anybody else join us.
All right, here we go.
Did 2023 leave you feeling a bit frazzled?
Have you ever felt like your goals are just out of reach?
It's time to become a goal getter and achieve your number one goal. Don't let another year slip by with unmet goals.
With the Goal Getters Masterclass series, you will discover simple yet powerful strategies to turn your business vision into an achievable goal. We will provide you with the tools and strategies to not just set, but achieve your most ambitious goal.
You'll celebrate your past successes, plan a vivid business vision, and set you on your way to achieving your number one goal.
This is not just training, but a true masterclass where you will actively participate in exercises and receive personalized feedback.
Don't miss out. Grab your spot and start 2024 with a clear path to success. Join Aaron and Becky on this transformative journey, allowing you to create a goal that is worth achieving.
It's time you became a goal getter, not just another goal setter. Visit osg.link/GG series to reserve your spot in the masterclass.
You don't want to miss out.
All right.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, come join us. And Darren says he's working on his goal sheet today. So good job, Darren, and high five to you. And I'm looking forward to tonight, where we get people into taking what we kind of figured out our number one goal is and putting our action plan into place. And it's going to be a great night of training tonight. So make sure, again, you go to osg.link/GG series, and you can still get signed up and catch all of the previous stuff and be right along with us. So you're not that far behind. All right. Well, Tanya and Kylene, what stood out for you guys as Becky and I were sharing what mastering the art of no was all about?
Well, that was really good. I really appreciate you guys sharing those. The top 5 were huge. The 2 of them stood out to me. One was that no is not a personal reflection on how you feel about that person. It's just saying no to that offer or that ask. And for me, that's a good reminder. And then what I'm still perfecting and working on is, not over explaining and being more clear. I can talk and talk and talk because I'm like, oh, well, this. And then the person is completely confused and I've lost any type of productive conversation at that point. Yeah.
I agree. I tend to over-explain and get really, really long-winded. And then it's like, oh, why did I do that? And probably the most important one for me has been learning that no is a complete sentence. And I think I finally have gotten much, much better at that, not only in my professional life, but in my personal life as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I see a shirt coming on, Tanya. I don't know.
Yep.
In fact, Barb jumped in and said, yeah, that's me. I can get wordy. I think maybe that's why I enjoy, or not enjoy, I find myself delivering the harder no's via email, because I can write that real lengthy, wordy explanation and then go back through and go, okay, delete from where you start saying the word just. that's when you need to start deleting from that point. As soon as just shows up in your vocabulary there, that's probably where you're starting that justification explanation process. So Becky, do you find where do you find yourself kind of best mastering the art of no?
Definitely when you start to write things out or type things out in a text message, and then it's like, you get so far and you're just like, nope, and delete, and just redo it. And then, like you said, the email, that stuff gives you time to think about. But that's the other part, is taking that time to know that you are saying no for the right reasons or saying yes for the right reasons. And yes, we all try to justify it, whether it's to ourselves or to the person that you're saying no to. And I agree, when you hit that just, that makes a lot of sense for where you should be stopping and simplifying it. So,
and even if it's a no that you need to deliver on a phone call or in person, I find that doing an email, like a mock email to yourself, and going through that process is very helpful, because then you have it more in your head about what you're going to say. Because I know I hate confrontation, so I like hyper fixate on, okay, what am I going to say? And writing it out has helped me.
Yeah, that's a great tool, Tanya. I think having like just taking a little Post-it note and having the bullet points of what you want to say. Maybe on there you're going to say no is a complete sentence. Some other things that we'll talk about in the workshop is the sandwich method and some of the things like that. So
did Aaron just say Post-it note?
He did.
I heard it. We can hear this. He said he used a Post-it note. I heard it.
I do have them. I just try to avoid them for keeping my life on track. But if I'm making a quick call, I can use one. And here,
I think that we should download that and make a GIF.
I'd use Post-it notes. There you go. You put that right there.
I don't care for Post-it notes either. You can ask my husband. It makes me crazy.
Okay.
Sorry, Aaron.
I love it. Thank you. Please keep me honest there. I love that. All right. Well, we've had some great stuff today. Intentional movement. We talked about mastering the art of saying no. So Tanya, you ready to put us on ice? Let's out the rest of our stay here.
Sure do. So ICE stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage. Sorry, she's gonna move.
It's all good. You could do yoga. You can host a show. It's awesome what you can do with your puppy.
Oh my gosh. So Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage is how I've lived my life for the last 4 years. Well, it was right after Jay's heart attack. So 4. Anyway, so I believe you can choose what you need as often as you need it. And so that's where the choose boards come in, because I like visual tools. So my choose has been the same for a few days. It's consistency and grace. And I chose grace because I need to give myself more grace than what I do often. And consistency, because consistency works. If you do something consistently, it gets better. And I needed that reminder. However, you can choose what you need as often as you need it. If you need to change your word every 5 minutes, if you're in a stressful situation, then go for it. So these boards are available. There's 2 sizes. There's the 8x10 and there's a 4x6. I carry the 4x6 in my laptop bag for when I travel. And they're just, they're a nice reminder that you can do those things for yourself. And on the store, which the link is up there, there's also affirmation shirts. There's also some coffee and frothy shirts up there right now too, because if you know, you know. So what are you going to commit to choosing for yourself today or for this week? Hi, Cora.
By the way, Chuck says good morning to Cora as well.
We're both clicking buttons there, and I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Good morning to you, Cora.
Good morning, Cora.
That's awesome.
All right. So yes, Kylene, how about you?
Okay, here's my board, and I'm going to choose faith in me and in the process. I, especially with learning to say no, I'm just trusting that I'm confident enough to deliver that. Yep.
Michelle chooses balance.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Cora redid ours for me. I had progress on there, and then she added that she will be helpful, or she is choosing helpful. So I choose progress as the last 2 days were a little bit non-progressing with appointments and stuff. So I will choose progress to move this business forward.
There you go. Love it, Becky. I am choosing goal getter, right? So we've been talking about that for the last couple of weeks, and I've been fortunate enough to get to work with Becky to put these kind of trainings together and a workbook and all that stuff. And as I'm going through it, I'm just constantly reminded, hey, you've got to do the same thing, right? Practice what you preach. And so that's my reminder to practice what I'm preaching, so to speak. So
Yep.
I don't feel like I'm preaching. If I am, you guys can tell me. But I was always, as a younger person, actually, I had people tell me I should become a preacher, but I didn't go that route. So maybe this is my form of preaching. All right. Well, so with all this stuff, you guys, here's the other crucial part of success. When we're talking about what we're trying to do here, we're trying to inspire you guys to really deepen that relationship with your business. So it's something that you love doing, and you just get in that flow state, and it becomes easier and less stressful, and you get paid, and all that kind of fun stuff happens when we are 100% committed, right? This doesn't mean that you have to work every hour of every day. It means when you choose these things, right? When we say, hey, I'm going to work on improving, becoming, being that recovering people pleaser. I'm going to make sure that I am getting enough intentional movement, that I commit myself to it fully, right? I don't leave myself that opportunity for that justification, right? To over explain, like we even do that to ourselves. We'll over explain it inside our heads, right? So I'm curious, right? What this week, what do you guys think is what you're going to commit to, right? And maybe it's an action, maybe it's just a state of mind, maybe it's a mindset. So what actions or state of minds are you guys going to 100% commit to making this week? So I'm throwing that at you guys kind of willy-nilly here, but Kylene, anything stand out for you?
Well, yes. So I am 100% committed to my goals this week. It is my stretch goal, but we have the goal getters tonight, the second half. And so I am 100% committed to staying focused, to get really clear on that, because that's going to make all the other stuff we talked about today easier. It's going to be easier to say no to those things and yes to the things that make sense. So that's what I'm committed to this week.
Awesome. Tanya, Becky, what do you guys got? Tanya, go ahead.
Mine's related to my choose word. I'm going to commit to consistency. Consistency with getting through last week's training, because I'm almost done, and then being prepared for tonight's, and being in an environment that I cannot doze off. Because if I'm in my chair all nice and snugly warm, at the end of the day, I can't stay awake. So I'm gonna be consistent this week.
Love it. Becky, anything stand out for you?
Well, I'm going to ditto Kylene with being intentional to our goals and working on them. I also have not done well on setting the goals like I need to, which is why the Goal Getter series for me was big. And I always get halfway and then I never finalize them. So my commitment is to get my goals finalized and have them where I can see them and continue to work on them.
Yeah. Awesome. That's what I love about what we're doing in the Goal Getter series too, is we are focused on saying, what's our number one goal, right? It doesn't mean that we can't do other things and accomplish more than one goal. But if we make the most important thing, then the other stuff can fall into place and be in the right place and time. So I'm excited about that. So for me, I'm committed to, kind of going back to circling all the way back around to what I was talking about in the gratitude. I'm just committed to really not overcommitting to all these opportunities that are there, and focusing on the relationships as opposed to the shiny objects, right? So sometimes, again, what we talked about today, I need to figure out how to say no in a graceful manner. I want to go and collaborate with everybody, but there's a time and place for it. So making the most important thing. So that will be my commitment as I work through until next week. And So, all right, you guys that are in the comments still there, still share yours. But Kylene, how should we close this out today?
Well, I just want to thank all of you for joining us today on OSG Live. It's another awesome show, and I love the community that comes to listen, and we all learn together. So thank you. If there's something that you guys want to have us talk about, share that with us. We are open to sharing whatever you think would be beneficial. So any feedback, anything you have for us, please reach out. Any one of us, please reach out, and we're here to support you. We all learn together. So
yeah. Speaking of the community, real quick, Kylene, I'm going to interrupt here and just jump in. Those of you guys that are tuned in, we, again, like Kylene said, we so appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. If we can grow this community, all right, the rising tide that lifts all boats, we would really appreciate it. So I'm going to try to get next week's show listed here today. And so you'll find it out there on YouTube, and we'll have an event on Facebook and LinkedIn. And so if you go look for it for me and just share it with your communities, if we get some new faces in here, that's going to help us all. And you guys will have new perspectives, and it's so valuable. So if you wouldn't mind sharing OSG Live with your communities, we would really, really appreciate that. So, David, this is he says, love y'all like a fat kid loves cake. So Betty says, thank you, Hart. Have a great rest of your week. You as well, Betty. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
And, so, all right, Becky. Well, any last thoughts to close us out here?
No, we just appreciate each and every one of you, and we look forward to all of you that are joining us tonight, and we wish you an amazing week.
All right, everybody, have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.